lives. Welcome to another episode of We're Never Truly Alone. I am spirit medium Tiffany Rice, and here is my good friend Mark James Dunn. Mark, how have you been?
I'm going to say my last name. I'm great. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
I actually haven't seen you in so long.
I know. I feel like we
So
just
weird.
did like a Halloween episode, and now here we are. We are really working on like trying to get these episodes going because we both have been traveling nonstop.
I know. I was just in Palm Springs, and you're nonstop because it's Halloween season.
Halloween. I was just at the Conjuring House.
How was that?
Have you been to the Conjuring House?
Well, once with you, but I was terrified.
Oh, that's right.
That was
that's
like
right.
a year and a half ago. But wait, so is this like your busiest season?
October, I am flat out busy all the time.
It's so hard to get you.
Well, it's because with Halloween, everybody thinks the only way they can connect with their loved ones in spirit is during the Halloween season.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's why it's like off the charts of how busy I am. And then comes the holidays, and a lot of people want to have that connection with their loved ones that have passed. And so it starts off in October, and then September, then whoops, I went backwards. That's where my brain is. That is where my brain
Literally
is.
the same. So
October, November, December. Yes.
I don't even know how it goes anymore.
Exactly.
Oh my God. As you know, I'm a photographer, so I'm always shooting like a different season. So like I was just shooting spring, summer.
Oh my gosh. So you already know the spring, summer trends?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. So I know you're like, wait, I know it's fall and I'm doing that spring, summer trend.
I don't know like the trends because this was like a kind of a different kind of.
Like a vision board shoot maybe?
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't really like a fashion forward company.
Can we just talk about how your photography is all over internationally on big billboards?
That's kind of cool. It was weird because I just got a text message from someone who was in Europe, and they sent me my billboard.
Where in Europe?
I don't even know where it was. I think it was like Switzerland or something.
Oh my
It was so
gosh.
weird. It's so strange because I forget about the image because like again I shoot ahead of time,
And then
so
you
I forget about it.
Yeah.
Because it's so much happens in like 8 months, and then someone sends it to me. I'm like, oh yeah,
Right.
wow, wait, that's that's
Right.
ours. It's a collective thing, and it's just fun to see it. Because
Come into
nowadays,
fruition,
you take
yes.
a picture of other people who are not photographers. They take photos, and then they just go away.
Right.
Like, people don't do albums anymore, like physical, or like
Right.
create, like even just hanging up a picture in the house. It takes so much effort.
I love it.
So seeing it on a billboard is kind of cool.
Yes, and you should be very proud of yourself.
I am.
You're-
I'm finally proud of myself.
You
That's
should
a whole,
be.
like, journey.
You should be.
It's a
You know,
journey.
like, and that's the thing. It's always a journey, but just sometimes, and it's funny because then you come home and you get to this like humbling experience because when you think like, oh my gosh, my stuff is all over the world and all these big billboards, and then you have your dad that comes home or is like, so did you go grocery shopping today? And why didn't you do? You know, because
No,
you're
literally.
always going to be Mark, right? And
I know. For my parents, they're like, okay, anyways, Mark, did you use the smoker yet? That I
right,
got you for your
right,
birthday?
exactly.
I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I can't, then they don't even, I show them the pictures of me on set, and they're
Right.
like, oh, you have horses? Like what? They ask about the funniest things.
Right,
Or like, I use a vintage car. All he cares about is like the rims of the car.
right, right. And
I'm like,
you're
Dad,
like,
can you see like everything else I'm shooting? Like I'm in the middle of the desert. There's like a cool vintage Mustang. All
or
he cares
Dad,
about.
they want your son to film this high-end fashion shoot.
I know. He doesn't get that.
That is right.
He
I get
cares
it. I
about
get it.
the
I
rims
so
and the
can
friggin'
relate to
Mustang.
that.
Yeah.
You know.
Right?
It's
Same
the same.
with you.
It's the same with my family too. A lot of times they're just like, okay, cool, but we need you to do this, this, and that. And if I don't, I'm like in trouble forever.
Oh my God. Like, oh, can you hang out with me on a Halloween? You're like, no.
No.
I literally can. Like,
Right.
No, I can't hang out with you for like another 2 months.
Oh my friends, where have you been? I'm like, it's October. That's where I've been. That is where I've been, lost in the October. But I love it too, and I wouldn't change anything. And it's okay for the people to not recognize it. I'm just bringing it up because I think it's funny how like we can go from these like amazing experiences and meeting some totally unique people and life-changing experiences, and then you come home and you have
the mundane.
the
But it's
mundane
fine.
of routine because it humbles you, and I feel
Yes.
like it's part of your journey. It's part of your balance, right? You need to have balance.
Absolutely.
I realized earlier on, I'd say more so mid-year this year, that my career, great. I'm so thankful and blessed with my career, but I really wanted to work in on my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that, I don't know if you guys that are listening at home, where there's that struggle between work and personal life. Do you find that to be a little bit of a struggle?
Oh yeah. I mean, because like it's not like we can just drop our jobs when we get home.
It's
Since we work for ourselves, it's just so unconventional.
So being self-employed and having an unconventional job,
Yeah.
I think,
It's
non-traditional job as well, I think that can be very difficult for everybody that's home to really understand.
Well, just like it's one of those things that does intertwine into everything. Like spiritualism is about everyday life, and mediumship, you live with it. It's not like you can turn it on and off. You have to.
Right.
But maybe sometimes it doesn't, and we can ask that question.
Right.
But I mean, same thing with me. If I'm shooting a huge shoot and then I come home and I'm not done yet because I work for myself. So it's almost like it just carries with me. So if I'm home and I'm trying to, do the dishes, do laundry, all that stuff, all that work stuff is in the back of my head. And people are just, with internet and social media, they'll just message me at any time of day looking for things. So there's no barrier anymore. It's not like 9 to 5, you go home, punch out.
I agree.
It's not. And I'm sure you get emails
emails nonstop because I get people from all over the world. So it might be 2 a.m. here in Massachusetts, but it will be, 6 p.m. the next day in Australia, and people are like, I need to have a reading. Yeah.
But what happens if so for me, my job it's physical, as in I have to literally send something physically send something. When you're sending information, let's say if I need to revisit what I sent them because I made a mistake or something, or I missed something, I just can physically look at it, and be like, oh, okay, here, and then I resend it. Where for you, if someone has like an issue or a mistake or feels like it's not completed or feels like they want more, how do you deal with that? Because I'm sure that happens, like reoccurring people.
Right.
I mean, we like, wait, I didn't get my message from my mom. And you're like, well, we weren't thinking about your mom. We were thinking about other things.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of times, are you talking about people all over the world?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of times when I give somebody a reading, they'll come back or they'll see me at one of my shows or they want to book their own private reading. I always say private readings are the way to go. It's always great to do that. But usually if they're from another country, that's when we have to schedule it. Sometimes I have some time where I will take them on a Saturday or I will take them on
special.
Because of the situation of time frame and so forth.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I've had people get up at 5 a.m. for my readings, but because I haven't realized. I remember I called out to California and I was like, "Oh, good morning," and they're like, "Hello." I'm like, "Oh, yeah," and I had no idea I was calling California. Yeah. But they were like, "Oh, it's 5 a.m. here." I'm like, "Oh my gosh,"
Wow.
So
dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what they say. They're like, "We're just happy to be talking to you." So, we always try to find time, no matter what, because you have to be mindful that when you're dealing with people that are outside of just your hometown, there's going to be different time schedules and things like that.
And I guess with that, I'm trying to think of like the seasons. Like right now, it's fall. Obviously, October. It's like all about passing away, or it's with fall. It is time for everything to die and kind of rebirth, like go into hibernation to rebirth.
Yes.
So is there some like spirituality in that? With like, do you get a lot of the same people coming to you? I don't know. I have that weird question. Like, is it the same with spirits or like people? Like, are we all in this kind of cycle together?
I would say so, more so than not, but maybe you and I always talk about this stuff, right? And when we talk about the personal life stuff, for you, you're always asking about your career. And for me, it's always my love life, right? So it's always, right. It's always like, okay, so how am I going to manifest this and how I'm going to manifest that? And so, when we talk about different seasons, of course, the holidays come and we want to be together with people and the ones that we love, and we want to have that quality time and so forth. But then it's so funny because for me, whenever I love the fall, but for me, I always find that there are some hard endings in the fall for me. And so I think that represents a lot of, just like you mentioned, things are coming to an end. We're getting ready to do a little bit of self-reflection, hibernate, look at the mirror, see if you love the person that's staring back at you, and really focus in on some of the things that you can do to improve your life.
Right.
So, you know, one thing, if you guys are struggling at home and you're thinking, okay, because it gets cold, right? And then we have the
Yeah.
seasonal depression,
Oh
and
God, then it's
right.
like,
So already it's below 60. So for me, I'm like, oh, I'm staying in.
yep, not
I'm
moving.
staying in. Yeah.
Sorry, Tiff, staying home.
Yeah, I was just telling one of my friends, I said, okay, I'm going to film the podcast, and then afterwards I'm going to go get lunch, and then I think I'm going to call it a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, by that time it's like 4 p.m. and I'll be home getting ready to like hibernate.
Yeah,
So
I love that. I feel like every year we have this chance to kind of figure out what we've done and kind of, I don't know, renew ourselves and like really
Exactly.
look inward with the winter. That's why I would never, I don't know, like anyone else who lives in a climate where it's very like similar all year. I don't know if it's different for them. I don't know.
So one thing that I'd recommend is if you guys are wondering, okay, how do I allow myself to release and let go? Write 10 things down that you are ready to release. Okay. And I mean, be solid on those. Like I am ready to release. For me with the eclipse, I was like, I can't do the self-sabotage talk anymore.
Oh, good.
Right. That's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of like the worst. And you know that as
know that.
being a friend to me, I am so bad at self-sabotaging. By writing 10 things down, we can focus in on getting rid of our mindset if we have a negative mindset as far as self-sabotaging goes, because I struggle with that so many times.
I know how to do.
So many times. So I'm going to give you an example of self-sabotage. I'm going to pull a card. Okay. I'm going to just pull a card and I will tell you, I'm just shuffling. If you guys aren't on watching us on live, you can see. Okay. So I need a card. What do I need to know for my highest and greatest good? 9 of air. Expecting the worst. Self-fulfill. Okay, I can't make this up, Mark.
This is
Okay, all right.
She always gets this, by the way.
I hate that card.
You really always get this.
It's always the air cards. Okay, can you read that card?
Yes.
This is the card that I pulled about
9 of air. She
about-
is Aries, by the way.
about self-sabotaging. Okay, so I wanted to give an example of. Okay, I'm going to pull a card and I'll tell you how I would self-sabotage the card. But the card pretty much self-sabotaged itself. Okay, what is it? What is it, Mark? Go ahead.
Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights.
Yes. So whatever outcome that I am looking to achieve in my life, instead of retraining my brain and putting it out there in love and light, my shadow side would be like, no, Tiffany, it's not going to work. Nope.
But that's
Stay
the
awake.
that's
And
the self-fulfilling prophecies that you're
Yes.
manifesting your own negativity. And I think
Yes.
that people forget or don't even understand that. Like, if you're putting out negative, you're just going to get negative back. So if you say that you're ugly, ugly things will just start happening to you. And you'll see yourself as ugly because that's the way that the energy is moving forward. That's the level, that's the vibration that you're at. If you say you're
Absolutely.
beautiful, oh, I'm so beautiful, you'll get more opportunity in that world, in that frequency of beauty.
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
you're doing
So
it to yourself.
exactly. And so that's why I knew that I had it.
I had it.
I had it.
She had already had it.
I had to really start to retrain my brain.
Yeah.
And also talking too fast. Self-sabotaging is like so bad for your mental
It's
state.
so bad. It's like the it's the worst thing you could do.
Yes.
Also, words fucking matter because words have vibrations to them. Like everything, words also do. So if it's even just kidding around, try to kid positively, even if you're trying to be ironic. So like, don't say things like hate or mad or anything negative, or like, I feel ugly, or I feel fat, or I am, or just try to go more like, I want to feel better today.
Act as if.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm going to be better
from a higher
today.
source,
Yeah, like
and
try
it's
to
coming from a source of abundance.
Yes. So try to grab that positive, even if you're feeling that way. It will help you kind of to push forward through the negativity. Because if you do the negative, it's going to keep living in that life. You're never going to get out of it.
So getting back to that list, it's like, okay, I release self-sabotage. I release negative thoughts. I release the opinions of others. You know,
oh my God, that's huge.
That's a huge one. That I feel like I'm doing really well in that department.
Good.
Am I forgetting words or letters today?
It's fine.
Did I just say I'm doing well in the apartment? What's going on universally where I'm forgetting letters?
It could be an
words?
apartment of your mind. Like it could. Why not?
Don't try to save it, Mark. Don't try to save it. I messed that up. Okay.
Apartment.
department.
It's fine.
Just roll with it. Okay.
I think it's because I was talking about apartments.
Oh, that could be it.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. So let's pull another card. Okay.
Let me do it.
Now, wait. Before you pull a card, do you tend to self-sabotage, or what's your shadow?
Of course I do.
You do it too?
I mean, even if, so she's always with love. I'm always with work, because that's just how we are. My work self-sabotage. Like, I'm not good enough for this job. I'm not, I don't have enough money for this equipment. I don't have enough. I'm never enough.
Right.
But then what I actually fell into finally is being like, I am enough. I am.
Yes.
So instead of being like, oh, I don't have that, I say, I can find a way to make that work.
Right.
Or I will make this work with this. Like, I just have to give all the information out.
Yeah.
And the more information I give people, they're more like aptitude to say yes. So like for my job, obviously it's different where I need, the value system's really large. So if you want just a headshot, I can do that. But if you want a huge branding campaign, I can't just do that with me and my camera.
Right.
So I need all these things, and people forget that everything, it's a team sport. So I am learning to say, well, yes, I do that with 8 assistants.
It's true.
A hair and makeup artist, a driver, and security, all this stuff. So I'm just realizing that everyone else does that too.
Right.
It's really all in our freaking ego.
And we have to release that control in our career or in our personal lives, thinking of like, I can do it all.
Yeah, you can't do it all. You need team.
Right. A team is so much easier.
Team spirit.
Nirvana. And that's the thing. It's like having that team. Yeah, it's having that team and being able to give up that control, and by giving up that control, they're going to provide you with a service higher than maybe you can provide yourself, which will give you that affirmation of you can hold yourself to a higher level because now you have all the assets set in place to be able to give you exactly what you need to perform the service that is desired.
Absolutely. And I think you have to just wake up every day and choose these things. Like, that's why the list helps. Like, you need the list because it's harder to be positive than it is to be negative. Now, I know everyone hears that a lot, but it really is true. It's easier to really just pick apart everything because that's how we live.
So with the list, it would be one list of letting go and release. And what I was going to say to add that, if you guys really wanted to do something, which I do this for summer solstice and turn of seasons, I will write a list on the things that I'm ready to release, and I actually throw them in the fire.
That's the best.
That's what I love to do. But then to add on, so guys, at home, we're talking about how to release self-sabotage, and it's making a list of 10 things of certain ways of release or what you do need to release. If you're able to throw them in the fire safely, do that, right? But then after that, I want you to make another list of 10 positives. Yes.
Ding,
words,
ding, ding.
Affirmations. I'm such a words affirmation girl.
No, you have to.
Like I love it. If someone says good morning, beautiful, and it doesn't matter from who, by the way.
That doesn't.
My friend Mary will say it because we talk about this all the time. So every morning, Mary will send me a text and say, good morning, beautiful. And I'm like, that's all I need. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to push.
Like
get higher.
That's what starts my morning.
It's easier to go negative because when we wake up, we ain't pretty. But maybe we are.
Right. It's so funny because we are, but it's so funny because I just want to say I saw this reel on TikTok or TikTok video, whatever it's called. And they're like, when you get that good morning, beautiful text and the girl has like her hair in a sideways bun. Yeah.
Eyelashes
like
on the cheek.
all this stuff.
A little zit right here. It's
right.
That
That's the real life. That's my real life.
No, that's everyone's life.
That's my
real
life.
everyone. No one's. So.
Exactly.
Let's start there.
Exactly. Yeah. So it really is when we are ready to release, that's creating more room for positivity to come into place and to really have us have a better life and help us retrain our brain. So it's like we act as if, and we really focus in on letting go what no longer serves us. Like my self-sabotage, it was with any thought of a relationship I would get. And I would all of a sudden create the scenario in my head that didn't exist.
But the thing is, you're such a high manifester, and we all are, by the way, but Tiffany's a higher frequency than us. It actually started to become true.
Yes.
That's what the self-fulfilling part is, that this is really important for everyone to hear, is that if you think that this person is cheating on you, and they're literally not cheating on you,
right,
you could manifest that to become true because you're pushing them away,
right,
and they will probably end up cheating on you because of your negativity that you're creating for yourself.
right.
Or maybe it's not cheating, maybe it's like something so
Or just
slight or like
exactly.
off from that like dynamic, but it happens all the time.
It does. So we always have to be so mindful
Of what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've done it too, where I've realized in situations like that, I will go to my friends and just completely go unhinged, like, okay, this is what I feel, blah, 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 blah. And like, you've been there where you've heard me cry and you've heard me like be upset, right? And then I'm like, wow, thank God I kind of unleashed on you, and you were able to help me instead of me going to them and unleashing for this like craziness that didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you don't have that person, that's fine, but you have the list and you always have yourself. So it's almost like always friends are like number one. And of course they better help you, let you cry on their shoulder, because that's what friends are for.
Yep.
But if you don't have that because they're gone or they're busy, or everyone, you can't really tell everything to your sister, I don't know, whatever it is, the list does help. And you can literally just cry to yourself if you have to.
Right.
Just let it out. This whole thing is about letting it out. Realizing what self-sabotage really is, and kind of releasing those demons, I think.
And if we go a little bit deeper on the list, we have to think about, where do you feel that you are insufficient and not worthy enough? And why do you feel like you need to get a validation?
That's really deep. But that's healing trauma.
I know. See, I go right into the trauma.
Well, that's
talk.
okay. We can get in it. Yeah,
I go right into the trauma talk.
Well, that's a whole other thing, because sometimes it's not even just like, oh, I need to take off 5 pounds. Oh, right. That's not what it is. It's something so deep. You get a snack at the end of the night to make you feel good, because maybe that was your gateway when you were a kid to have a snack because your family was fighting.
Right.
And you're like, oh, at least I have this one thing. So if you have a relationship that mimics that, because we usually do, you actually have the same trauma going over and over until you actually be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm letting that go, letting that person go, and I'm putting that Reese's away. So
self-sabotaging, I feel, stems from trauma of some sort.
It does.
And like looking to be seen, looking to be validated, looking to, because when you are seen as a child and when you're validated as a child, you have that already kind of in your system of that confidence.
It's so true. And we can't change our physical being. We can to a point, but it doesn't matter how much you change the outward. You have to work on the inward to appreciate what is there.
Right. And I'm done self-sabotaging everything in my life.
There's no point.
There's no point. It has brought me, in my many years here on this earth, it has not brought me any justice. It has not brought me any happiness. It has just caused me to have sleepless nights and stress and many tears wasted on a situation that didn't need to be wasted.
Yeah, loving your body is like really so soothing for your soul, because if you love your body, that's just the physical part of life.
Right.
You already have the soul part. So once you have the body, and you're like, yeah, whatever, I'm a little curvy, or for me, I can't get big muscles. That's just, I've never was able to. But that's it. But I'm gonna find someone that thinks I'm attractive.
Right.
Or people always say, oh, you look great today. But I'm always like, nah. Instead of saying, oh, this is one thing actually. Sorry, I'm a scatterbrain. If someone gives you a compliment for self-sabotage, just say thank you, and just say thank you.
Right.
Don't say no.
But
don't do that. Yeah. Just freaking say thank you. Just do it, because it just helps. It really does.
And can I tell you something that is sexier than any body? Confidence.
Oh, see?
And I have had friends, I've had boyfriends that were all different shapes and sizes. They looked different. And I would have my friends question me like, oh, why are you attracted to that person? Or why? And I would always go right in for like, oh, they have a good soul.
Yeah.
Or
They're
would have
confident.
this. They're
They know who they are, and they know that this is what it is. Like,
Right.
that's so confident and beautiful,
Right.
isn't that? Like,
And that makes that person shine just from that confidence.
yeah.
That makes that person shine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, okay, looks can help a little, you know, like,
Well,
you want to be
attraction, you have
attracted
to be
to them.
attracted.
Yes. But ultimately, yes, like if somebody's confident, if somebody's doing the work, that's
so sexy.
That's sexy to me.
It
So
really
as
is.
long
So that means that's how you should react. See how people are.
Exactly.
It's the same thing for whatever you're seeing and finding attractive. You should be doing the same thing. Not should be, or just wanting to do the same thing for yourself.
Right, exactly.
Should I pull a card now?
I wanted to get rid of that card. That's why I was like, I'm putting this card back.
Let's hide that. I don't know what kind of card I'm gonna pull.
Just say whatever you need for your highest and greatest good. What's it gonna be? First thought. 4 of air.
Oh my god.
This is the Self-Sabotage podcast. 4 of air mark. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide the answers. Well, you and I had a conversation prior to the podcast. So I feel like this is like more than meets the eye.
Yeah, and I think that for me, my self-sabotage is that I don't feel smart enough. I never feel like it's not physical. And it is always about the job, but if we're going to go deeper with that, my self-sabotage is always I'm not intelligent enough, or I don't know enough, or I'm not, at the level of other people that can make a decision.
But you so are. You so are. Like,
no, I know.
It just sounds so silly when you say those things.
But the problem is that I think this is what this is trying to tell me is that I just, instead of allowing other people to make the decisions for me, for me, it just takes me a little bit longer to make the decision because I'm feeling too much and I need to own that. So I just mean like, you know what? Give me a second. I'll think about it. Instead of me being like, I'm not that person.
But I want to say something. When it's career, which yours is primarily career-based, there's a difference between emotion and business.
Oh, true.
So it's like because I've worked with friends before. I worked with friends. I've been hired by friends, and I've also been laid off from friends. And I have not fired, but laid off, just to be clear.
Yep.
And it goes back to you being able to not take anything personal. And that's something that you need to work on. It's not that they're saying, no, Mark, you're not good enough. They're just saying,
this isn't
working.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you because it's business.
It's business.
So you can't take the emotion part when it comes to business.
Yep. That's so true.
So don't get that emotional part connected to the business part. When you're talking about relationships with friends, husband, family members, that's the emotional part. That's not business. That's family. That's emotion. But when anything to do with business, you have to look at it
as business. And just take it out.
Like I'll talk about like TV and being TV producers and things like that. I've worked with a lot of them, and whenever they interview me for anything, I feel like I'm very, okay, yeah, and they want to know about my spirit communication abilities. So I talk to them about that, and they'll say to me, well, no, tell me more about the reading. Like was the reading like scary? Did they run out? And I'm like, no, that's not what happens. I mean, they will cry. Everybody cries, but they won't like yell and run out and be scared. And they're like, well, maybe could you make it look like that? And I would say to them, no, like that's not real life. That's not how it is. And then guess what? Guess who wouldn't get picked for the project? Me.
Because we were telling the truth.
Right, because I was being authentic. And so I learned from an early point when it came to business, like I couldn't bend and make something more than what it was.
Right.
Because that's not how it goes. But for TV producers, the ones that I spoke to about certain things, they knew what was going to sell. What was going to sell was high emotion. It was, we need someone to like get up and yell and run out. We need some, like. It's
like the scare factor rather than the holistic factor.
Yes.
They weren't into the holistic.
It's not the healing that they were looking for, which is what I provide.
Right.
It's that beyond the aha moment. The aha moment is very healing. It was the wow factor of like,
people like the surprise. Like,
yes.
and sometimes the surprise is in the healing.
The overreaction. Or me being a spirit medium, being like, I've been to Lizzie Borden's. I'm the medium for the Conjuring House. I've been to Eastern State Penitentiary, Waverly Hills Sanitarium, St. Augustine Lighthouse. Like, I've been to a lot of highly haunted locations.
Very notable.
And not one of them I thought, I got to get out of here. I got to go.
You've always said that,
right.
which I love about you. Because you're like, no, it's fine. They know I'm here.
Fine. Yeah.
And what do you say when they see you? They run away. They hide.
Yeah. I mean,
no, they're just like more surprised. Like,
right.
she can see me. Like that. I mean, it's just like us seeing a ghost as they're seeing us.
Exactly.
So they're like, all right, we'll leave you alone.
So the reason why I'm sharing this whole story with you, Mark, is because I'm just saying, like, in order for me, so I didn't beat myself up, I had to realize, like, these people that are asking me something of me, they are looking to sell a show. They're looking to have this, like, boom, boom, boom moment. And it's not always boom, boom, boom. Sometimes it's just like, wow, that felt really good.
Yeah.
You know, and I realized, okay, so even though it may be so healing, the ones that I spoke to, maybe they didn't want that type of show. Maybe they wanted, they wanted something that was more suitable for them. So I provided the healing aspect. And
wow, I love that.
So what
That's
I'm
so
saying
true.
is,
I should
like,
just think about what
as a business.
Yeah.
As a business.
What can I provide for them as me?
Right.
Not for what. I mean, if they want something, that's what they're going to get, and I just have to let go.
Right.
But if they want something from me, then I can give what I can provide, not what they want.
Take the self-sabotage out of it.
Yeah. Well then.
Dun dun dun. Right? I know.
I love that.
But it's a hard lesson to learn.
It is, and it's a perfect time to do all like the healing work is
right
as we come to January, which is most people like to revisit themselves.
Exactly. Like even another work thing, one of my friends was having trouble with one of the guys that she worked with, and she went and talked to her agent, and she's like, I just don't get it. He's so mean to me, and why would he do this? And why would, like, I can't, like, who does he think I am? And then she happens to be a therapist, she told me, she goes, Tiff, she goes, when I told my agent, he said to me, okay, you said mean, like, this is a business. Why should he be talking about mean? Or like, why should the emotional part be part of that? Yeah, I gotta
take that out.
And then as a therapist, she took a step back and she goes, oh, because it brought me back to when I was 9 years old. And I felt like I wasn't being seen or given the credit that I was due. And so because of that, any man that would not, she wasn't threatened, but any man that would kind of talk down to her, it would trigger her. Wow. And so she took it as like, he's being mean to me. Why would he? I'm doing nothing but doing a great job, you know? And it was like, wow, you don't have to, it had nothing to do with that. He was just trying to communicate. He wasn't being mean. He was doing his job, and you took it as some sort of a hit. A hit, yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny. Now I'm thinking about my stuff. It's like, if my sister was on set with me, she would probably, because she's so sensitive. Mm-hmm. She really is like,
I love Jen.
Angel, but she's just so sensitive. So like for me, when I'm shooting and they're like, this isn't working, it doesn't affect me.
Right.
I'm just like, okay, well, how do we make it work then?
Right.
Where Jen's would think, oh, I'm a bad photographer.
Yes.
Where it's like, I know I'm not.
Right.
It's just that it's not working for them.
Right.
Because this is my work.
Right.
It's theirs.
Right.
They're running through me. Like I'm just facilitating the energy out. You know, I'm just gravitating and working with them because they can't do it at all.
Right.
Or they would do it. So
same with readings.
Just got to let it go.
Yeah. I know what I'm being told, so I'll say things. Sometimes I repeat myself, and I'm like, okay, what they're showing me this and that. And they're like, nope. Like last night I did a reading, and I was being shown a rose. I'm like, I see a rose. Like, I don't know if it's a white rose. I just see a rose. And she's like, no white roses, no white roses. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at the other table, and then she's like, well, my mom's name is Rose. But for a good 5 minutes, she was like, Rose does not make sense. White roses do not make sense. And I'm like, okay, well, sometimes we just can't take it literal. It's just the idea of, I know I did say white rose, but,
But
know,
for
her
you,
name is. Yeah,
well,
I'm
we
like.
don't have to explain. Everyone knows.
I'm in like a multi-dimension.
Yeah,
and
you're
so,
like you're upside down,
Right,
grabbing roses.
right.
You're like, I don't know, I'm just in a sea of roses now. She's like, no,
Yeah.
I have no clue.
No sea of roses
Never
here.
seen a rose. She
But
actually
my
hate.
mom. Right.
But my mom's name is Rose.
Right.
Wait, that one time I always bring this up. It's so funny when you were giving a reading and it was this woman's turn. She's like, I don't know. I just see this parrot. I just see this Eiffel Tower. I just see this Eiffel Tower. I just see it. I see it. She's like, you see it every day. And she's like, nope, never been to France.
Yeah.
Not French. She's like, are you French?
They
like,
love
is there
saying
French?
no.
Are
They
you
love
French? She's like,
saying
nope, never. I'm not French. Nope. We're like, nope. Hate France. Like,
Yeah, I know.
hate it. And you're like, okay, but there's something to do with the Eiffel Tower. She's like, no. She's like, I see a picture, like a picture. She's like, no, no pictures. No pictures of France. No pictures of the Eiffel Tower. And then like, I think she's like, well, and then it was like a minute later. She's like, well, I do have an Eiffel Tower on my desk that I look at every day that my mom gave me.
Right.
Next to a picture.
Next to a
You're
picture
like,
of her
yeah,
mother
she's
that
saying
passed away.
You're at
Yeah.
work with her every.
Yeah.
Jesus, the Lord. That's what we have to deal with.
So I can't take it personal, right?
can't
Like,
take it
and that's what
personal.
I've learned.
Oh
is
my God,
that,
it's
like,
the same thing. I
yeah,
never
it's the
thought
same
of it like
thing.
that. It's the same thing.
Yeah, like I could sit there, and I have, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I just not doing a good job at readings anymore? What do I do? But no, sometimes
No,
it
it's all
just takes a while.
perspective.
Yeah, it's all perspective.
It's like a different energy flow. Like I'll take
Yes.
pictures of the same light with someone else and they hate it. But they're like, I want that. And I'm like, they don't know that I'm doing exactly what they show me. Like,
Right.
I love this image. Can you replicate this with me? I'm like, sure, but it's going to look different. Because
in
you
their
have to
mind,
feel
they
different.
have to think, yes.
So maybe that's not the light for you.
Right.
Maybe that's not what you look like. Maybe because
Right.
you're using too many filters.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's all
I know.
perspective and like,
It's so hard.
it's so hard. So I don't take it
It's
personally.
so hard. Yeah, I mean,
I
same.
I automatically do because I'm so empathetic. But I'm like, Mark. Then I had to have
Yeah.
this process in my head. I'm like, let it go, figure it out for them, and go home.
Yeah.
Because we love our work.
Right. It's like for me, I'll give you a picture of a model. And I'm like, okay, make me look like her. And then I'm like, why aren't my legs like that? Oh, because I'm 5'2". I'm not 5'10". My legs are never going to be that long.
But you can be Tiffany Rice.
I can be Tiffany Rice.
Which is also just as beautiful.
But
Anyway.
So I mean, that's why I wanted to just hop on and talk about some self-sabotage.
good.
Because I feel like we get into this rhythm of like, again, when we talk about the balance between work life and personal life, like it's so common for us to self-sabotage something in our life. And it's like, why are we wasting that time and energy? So writing the list of 10 things that no longer serve us, if we can burn it, let's burn it. Let's get it out, right? And then rewrite the list of something that's so positive that you are acting as if that you're intentionally setting and manifesting.
Right.
Write that list down.
Because this is the time to do it.
I was
Because
just
people are
gonna
going to
say
say
that,
like
yeah.
January. People think that January is the time. Like, oh, January 1st, time to go to the gym. It's like, no.
Right.
Now is the time, like November 1st, to start thinking about the year. What are the things that you're negative about, or how do you want to release things and move to that next vibration that's positive? It's never going to be perfect. We're going to do this every year for the rest of our life. By the way, it's just something we have to do.
Yep.
Plants need to be sown every year. Cut and
Exactly.
just like a plant.
Yep.
It's the same freaking thing. The tree has to grow taller, but you have to take care of it. So let's do that this year.
Taking care of your own self.
Yep. Write it down. Let it go. Grow.
Do you want to pull a card?
Let's pull one more
Okay,
together.
because wait, we release self-sabotage and we only allow the abundance of light and love for our highest and greatest good in.
Okay.
Mark, what do you need to know for your highest and greatest good today?
High Priestess.
Get it, girl. Okay, High Priestess, Archangel Haniel, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting.
Again.
But
in a higher vibration. It's the same card in a higher vibration. So the High Priestess, as you know, is one of the major arcanas. So I need to listen to my intuition because I have it. I just need to be patient, take a vacation, like the other one, and consider what you want before acting, which is I think before I say. And don't allow other people to speak for me. I need to speak for myself.
Yes.
Your turn.
Okay. I release my self-sabotaging ways. I allow the abundance of love and light into my world. Please give me information what I need to know for my highest and greatest good. I like to close my eyes on this. What do I need to know? What do I need to know? Seeds, 7 of Earth. Seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry.
Unnecessary worry. You had to worry.
Yes.
On sleepless nights.
Yes. And there's a pause.
Seeds well planted. Yeah, just take a See, we all need it. This is our time to literally pause.
Right. And there's all these on this card. There's like little fairies in little earths. Yeah.
Virgo. I love that.
Yeah. See what I mean?
Oh, thanks for hanging out with me at my house.
Hey, thank you. Anytime. Anytime.
So anything coming up for you? You can tell everybody that to come see you or shows.
You know, I have some events planned. Everything's sold out in November except for one event.
Okay.
But if you guys want, you can definitely go to my website, tiffanyrice.com. And I hit over 300,000 followers on TikTok.
Yes.
What? Yeah. So it's absolutely great. So if you guys are not following me yet, please give me a follow. Spirit Tiff on TikTok, Spirit Tiff on Instagram. I'm verified. I'm never going to slide into your DMs and ask you for a reading. And of course, give us a follow on our podcast. We are Never Truly Alone. Available on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel too. You know that, right?
Sure. I'm just kidding.
What?
And if you want to follow me, I'm at Beneath the Waves on Instagram.
And feel free to message us with any topics you would like to talk about for our episodes of We're Never Truly Alone.
Yes. And if we're trying to figure out how to bring people in, or like if you want to send a letter or something.
Oh, write a review.
Write a review and then obviously subscribe. But then we want to hear from you guys. So if you want to like ask a question or like want to be on the show and we can help you with what's going on with you, we would love that. That would be so fun.
Absolutely.
We'll just add another value to it. So,
yeah. All right.
Have a nice weekend.